Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're tackling something that, honestly, so many of us, especially the high achievers out there, struggle with literally every single day. I'm talking about the sheer, crushing exhaustion of perfectionism. We're going to dive into some absolutely brilliant insights from Chris Guillebeau's time management philosophies, and we'll see how aiming for absolute perfection, it might actually be the exact thing holding you back from a truly fulfilling life. So if you constantly feel like there just aren't enough hours in the day, or if you hit Friday and you're just completely wiped out, well, you are definitely in the right place. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I just have to do this more properly? Or, maybe you just think it quietly to yourself while staring at a project, or a messy room, or even just an unread text message. It's that nagging inner critic constantly demanding more. And look, I want to validate that feeling for you right now. Carrying that heavy burden, trying to hit 100% every single day in literally every area of your life, it is genuinely exhausting. It is a one-way ticket to burnout. But what if that little voice in your head is just completely wrong? Think about it. We all know people who always seem stressed out and suffering, right? They're usually the ones treating every single task like they're pushing a massive boulder up a steep hill, aiming for 100% in absolutely everything. Now, contrast that with the people who always seem genuinely happy and, emotionally stable. The key distinction our source material makes here is just fascinating. The difference between these two types of people? It isn't raw talent. It's not intelligence. It's not even their personality type. The difference is simply that the happy people understand a fundamental reality. A whole lot of things in life simply are not worth a perfect effort. They know exactly when to just stop. And that brings us to a pretty harsh, paradigm-shifting truth. Perfectionism is really not something to brag about. I know. In a lot of professional and academic circles, we kind of wear perfectionism like a badge of honor, don't we? We literally use it in job interviews as our greatest weakness that's secretly a strength. But the data and expert insights, they tell a completely different story. Striving for absolute perfection doesn't just make you tired, it actively destroys the essential life skills that you actually need to thrive. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how chasing perfection ironically limits your capabilities in three very specific ways. First, it literally steals your ability to do simple things easily and just move on. Second, it robs you of that crucial emotional intelligence to just step back and feel that, hey, this is enough. And third, and honestly this is probably the most damaging, it destroys your ability to distinguish what's actually important and prioritize. Think about it. If everything has to be absolutely perfect, then everything is treated as equally important. And when everything is a top priority, well, nothing actually is. So how do we actually break free from this exhausting loop? Well, the source material offers a brilliant, truly actionable solution. And it all comes down to one simple, incredibly liberating fraction: 3/4. Just hearing that number might honestly bring a sudden sense of relief to some of you. This is author Chris Guillebeau's 3/4 rule, and it's a real game changer. It's going to completely revolutionize how you approach your daily tasks. Let's formally define what we mean here. The 3/4 rule is all about accepting that, yes, while leaving something 50% or half done is usually insufficient, it leads to sloppy results, hitting 75% completion is totally fine for most things. It's the sweet spot. It allows you to fix small problems minimally and, crucially, just move on. Now, to be clear, this is not an excuse to do a bad job. We all want to do good work, but it's about recognizing exactly when to pull the plug on that final 25% of effort that gives you almost zero real-world value. Okay, let's dive into this, because understanding the theory is one thing, but applying it daily is where the magic actually happens. We're going to fundamentally shift your approach across three very real, everyday domains: housework, work, and relationships. Let's break down exactly how this 3/4 rule beats the 100% trap in each of these areas, giving you some super specific, actionable examples right from your daily life. First up, housework. If you're caught in the 100-point trap here, you are stuck in an endless, exhausting loop. You know the drill: scrubbing the baseboards, reorganizing the pantry alphabetically, making sure absolutely not a single speck of dust exists. But here is the reality check. Unless the health inspectors are knocking on your door, no one else actually expects that from you. Applying the 3/4 rule in your daily life means doing the dishes, running a quick vacuum over the main living areas, and just leaving it at that. A house that is 75% clean is a house you can actually relax and live comfortably in. That final 25% of deep cleaning, just let it go. Moving on to your professional life. Have you ever spent, say, an hour formatting an internal email or tweaking the colors on a spreadsheet that maybe two people are ever going to see? Yep, that is the perfection trap right there. So, the three-quarters rule in your daily work life means applying the absolute minimum necessary fixes to small tasks. Write the email clearly, spell check it once, just once, and hit send. This immediately frees up vast amounts of mental bandwidth and energy so you aren't bogged down by trivial details. And that allows you to tackle the actual big problems that really move the needle in your career. And finally, this is perhaps the most profound application: relationships. Trying to be flawless in your human interactions, always saying the perfect thing, never disagreeing, trying to please absolutely everyone, it causes immense, quiet stress. In your daily life, the three-quarters rule means accepting that, hey, you might be a little awkward sometimes, you might even have to say no and disappoint someone slightly. And that's okay. You don't have to be perfect for everyone. Accepting this three-quarters approach makes your interactions so much lighter, way more authentic, and honestly, infinitely less anxious. This brilliantly illustrates the math of your new mindset. By capping your effort at 75% on tasks that just don't require perfection, you suddenly reclaim a massive 25% of your total energy, time, and focus. Literally, giving up the impossible quest for perfection creates this huge, tangible buffer of free time and mental peace. And the best part, you can now allocate that newly reclaimed 25% to your true priorities. Put it towards your hobbies, your family, or, crazy idea, just resting. So as you navigate your day and you feel yourself getting stuck on some tiny detail, I want you to adopt this empowering new mantra. When in doubt, let it go and move forward. We want to actively choose forward momentum over getting bogged down by minor imperfections. If you aren't sure if that email is perfectly worded, send it. If the living room looks good enough, go sit down. Choose progress over perfection every single time. As we bring this all together, keep this profound insight from our source material in mind. By letting go of perfectionism, it becomes easier to focus on what is truly important. You see, the three-quarters rule isn't about doing less just to be lazy. Not at all. It is a highly strategic choice. It's about actively directing your limited, incredibly precious energy away from trivial details and toward the people, the projects, and the passions that actually enrich your life and bring you joy. To wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really ponder as you go about the rest of your week. Are you giving 100% to things that don't actually matter? Take a hard look at your to-do list today. Where can you apply the three-quarters rule right now? Find those tasks, reclaim your time, and start living for yourself first. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack these insights, and I really hope this helps you find a little more freedom and a lot more happiness in your daily routine.